Hello, welcome to my channel. As you guys can see by the title, I will be talking about my experiences with a natural birth. I actually had 3 natural births, one in 2016, 2018, and 2020, a month ago, and no, a month ago tomorrow. I had 2 daughters natural and then 1 son natural. I had 2 daughters with the epidural and 1 son with the epidural. So we are going to discuss the natural birth. So my first natural birth experience, I decided to have a water birth at a birthing center here in Missouri. And it was not at all what I expected, because I thought in my mind that since I had an epidural and made it all the way up to 8 centimeters before I got an epidural, that I can go all the way through a natural birth. Yes, all the way through a natural birth with the same amount of pain at 8 centimeters and under. The pain is totally different when you get to 9 and 10 to pushing the baby out. So that alone kind of threw me for a loop, because I wasn't prepared for the transition and the amount of pain that, you know, comes with the 9th and 10th centimeter from my experience. So basically, when I got to the birth and wellness center, when I got to the birth and wellness center, they ended up putting on the lavender diffuser. So they had that going to relax you, kind of put you in a, you know, a nice state of mind, relaxing state. So once I got there, they ran the bath water. They ran the water in the jacuzzi, bath water, same thing. They ran the water and I got in. And at that time, I think I was like 6 centimeters. And maybe within like an hour and a half, they checked me again, and then I dilated to like 7 centimeters. And mind you, this whole time I'm kind of dealing with that. You know, I'm dealing with the contractions. But then I had a transition because my water ended up breaking while I was in the jacuzzi. I didn't even know that it broke either, but they knew, because they use they use a Doppler to check the baby's heartbeat, and I don't know what else they use to check to see if your water broke. But long story short, when it comes to this first birth, so I ended up getting to like 9 centimeters, almost 10. And I pretty much, I mean, the midwives were there. You do get midwives. They were there. They were very helpful for us. Like, they was talking to me, trying to keep me calm for us. You know, the things they were saying to me, they were trying to keep me calm. And when I got to 10 centimeters, I wasn't trying to hear what they were saying at all. I wasn't trying to hear it at all, because the pain had literally taken over my mental capacity. I couldn't fathom what was happening at that point, because I thought that I would be able to deal with all of the full natural birth, the contractions, all that, and my mind just wasn't wrapped around the pain, so I couldn't prepare for something that I thought differently of that was going to happen. But I remember, you know, talking to the midwife, telling her, hey, you know, can I please get out of here? Can I go to the hospital and get an epidural? You know, like, really, Tanise, how are you going to go to the hospital? You literally only have a spaghetti strap shirt on and nothing else on down below there. So I'm like, oh my God. So she was like, no, and they looked at each other, and they knew, I guess at that point, by me just like really wanting to help, they knew I was going to push out. So within literally a minute, I don't even think it was a full minute after I had said that, my body ended up just throwing itself back, and I ended up pushing really hard, and I pushed Skylar out. And I'm going to post a picture of me having it. I actually didn't record the process of me, you know, going through it, but I did have a picture of me and the baby My husband and my kids were all there. They was like around the tub, and I was holding Skylar on me, and they had like a little container where her placenta was in, where my placenta was in. So yeah, so that was the first one. The second birth, when I got there, I wanted to try the water again. I got in the water, and for some reason this time around I was real irritated. I didn't want to be in the water with that particular birth. I don't know, I just didn't want to do the water. So I asked if I could get out the water. It was like, sure. I got out the water, and I decided to lay on the bed. You know, for me, laying on the bed was just a lot more comfortable with that birth for some reason. So I got on the bed. I went ahead and just tried to go through that whole process. And what ended up happening was the midwives ended up coming in to massage me through like all of my contractions. And when I say that was such a lifesaver for that particular birth, because I know for some people that may listen to it when you do have a child and you do it naturally, that may not work for you. You may not want to be touched at all. But for me at that point, massages worked wonders for me. Literally, they worked wonders, and that got me through that whole process of having my second natural birth with Sakari. And it was just amazing what they did. I mean, I was just a bugaboo, but who cares? When you going through pain, you don't really care about what people say, what they think. Everybody else's feelings is out the window, you know. So, but they did an awesome job, like really helping and massaging me actively. Like, you know, at that time I had some herbal tea. I had raspberry leaf tea and I had chamomile tea. And I think that's what kind of helped me too, you know, get through the pain a lot, because I know with chamomile tea, it kind of like puts you in a soothing state. And raspberry leaf tea, I forgot the benefits of that. We could save that for another video, like the benefits of using herbs when you having a natural birth. We could discuss that. But those are the two that I used in particular that time. And I ended up having her. That was like my shortest natural birth. I had her, I think I was only there maybe 5 hours, active labor. Then my son, I ended up going in. That was long. It was actually a long process, even for as the contractions. Like, I was having contractions, I mean, probably for like 2 weeks. They were kind of on and off, you know. But then they were getting like really, really intense on like the 12th of April and the 13th of April. And the 13th of April, I ended up having a doctor appointment. So when I went to my appointment at the birthing center, she checked me. I wanted her to check me because I had been in a lot of pain. So she checked me. She's like, oh yeah, you dilated about 2 to 3 centimeters. I was like, okay, so I am dilating, so that's good. I'm like, I know I was dilating because I was going through a whole lot of pain with the contraction. So I'm like, okay, so that's good. So I should be seeing you, you know, sometime today. You know, later on, you know, I should be coming back here ready to have a baby. It ended up being such a long process. So I went through a lot of pain, I think all the way up until like 3 in the morning on April the 14th. And at that point, I told my husband, I'm like, we have to go. I know I done dilated about 7 centimeters. I know I feel like I have to push the baby out. That's how much pressure was down there. I'm like, I feel like I could just push him out. So we need to go. And my husband was, you know, he was really, really tired. And he didn't want to go. And then they'd be like, oh, well, we're not going to keep you. So we just, you know, he didn't want to go through that. So I ended up kind of like really, you know, telling him, no, I'm serious. Like, we really need to go because I think I'm, you know, going to push this baby out. And I don't want to have the baby in the car, you know, or have the baby, you know, here. So he was like, you know, okay. So we ended up going. And the midwife was literally like 1 hour and 20 minutes behind us. So we were sitting on the parking lot in the birthing center. She was late. And then I thought I was going to have to go to the hospital because when I called her, she didn't answer. She ended up calling back while we were on the road, literally in the process of going to the hospital, because I thought that she wasn't going to be there, or, you know, she didn't answer her phone, so I didn't know if I was going to be able to have the baby at the birth and wellness center. But I ended up having him there, long story short. So we get out of the car after waiting on her an hour and 20 minutes. I go in. I knew I didn't want to do a water birth. I was sure I didn't even want to try the water. I just wanted to have the baby. So we tried I tried laying down. This time around, I did have the nitrogen oxide because I didn't want to deal with the pain. I just didn't. So it was natural, but it was still a little bit semi-medicated. You still felt contractions. I would say that you definitely felt contractions. So don't think that if you use nitrogen oxide, you're not going to feel pain. Yeah, you're going to feel pain. So I just want you to know that. Also, so the first time I used the nitrogen oxygen machine, I put it on my face and I just breathed in one time. I'm sitting back. I'm like, it's, you know, not really doing nothing. My husband was looking at me like he was still tired. Anyway, he was looking at me like, and I'm like, this ain't really working. So I ended up kind of puffing out, inhaling like 3-4 times at a time. And that really, really helped me out a lot. When I inhaled like that, I was able to kind of numb the pain just a little bit. So I was able to bear, you know. So after that, we did maybe about an hour that they came in, they checked me. I was like, how much more did I dilate? So she said, oh, you dilated about 4 or 5. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I was just for sure that I had dilated like at least 8. Because the pain was so bad. It was so bad this time. It was really, really bad. So they ended up again telling me, okay, well, we kind of got to move the process along. Do you want us to break your water? Because my water didn't break either. I guess because I wasn't really far enough, or the baby didn't push his head down far enough, or I didn't dilate far enough for the bag to be broken. So they ended up breaking it, and then that's when things started speeding up after my water was broke. And I was actually afraid of that at first because I'm like, oh my God, when you do this, I'm going to be in even more pain. That's the part I left out about my second birth. They broke my water and the pain just shot through the roof. That's what made that process go faster. They didn't play around at all. They like immediately broke my water when I got there, when I had my second natural birth. So that was the part that I actually forgot to tell y'all in that story. But back to the third birth. So after my water was broke, it sped things up. I knew that I was going to be dealing with a lot more pain. So I was definitely just constantly kept breathing in the machine because I could not, I didn't want to feel no pain. Although I still felt it, it was bearable. So after all that, they ended up checking me again, and I just was like, you know, this is just taking, you know, it's taking a long time. So she was like, you know, how about you get out of the bed? Because at that time I was just laying down, laying flat on my back, and they was like, why don't you try getting up? So I was doing everything they said. They told me to get up. I got up, I walked around for a little while. I was crying. I just wanted it to be over. And she was like, yeah, you have to help the baby come out. So you have to move. Then they gave me a birthing ball. I was rolling around on the birthing ball for a little while. Then they literally had me doing like, what do you call that? Goodness. They had me doing some type of exercise where I had to like push into the contractions. I forgot what you call those. But anyway, when I think of it, I'll let you guys know when it comes to me. But so basically, I just was doing everything that they asked me to do. And I was just trying to really get through the process of just pushing the baby out. So long story short, after I tried those first few things they told me to try, the last thing that they wanted me to shoot for was the birthing stool. I never seen a birthing stool a day in my life. But when I tell you, as soon as I got on that birthing stool, it wasn't even 2 minutes before I was pushing the baby out of me. The baby literally came as soon as I got on the birthing stool. I'm not kidding. So that particular time around, I had actually pushed the baby out on a birthing stool. And it was painful. It was very painful. His head, I felt his head literally kind of just right there. And I was like, grab him out. grab him out. They was like, we're trying to grab him out. I'm like, can you please grab him out? He's hurting me. Grab him out. So I was able to talk, although it was just, oh my God, it was so painful. But I told him, just go on and, you know, just grab him out. Just get him out. Get him out. Because he's literally hurting me. So as I was pushing, my husband was holding me from the back. And I was just, you know, really trying to push. And it was so painful. Oh my God, it was painful, y'all. It was so painful. But anyway, that's my experience with my 3 natural births. Please, guys, I want to give you guys a few tips. Do not expect that when you watch other YouTube videos of people having their natural births that yours is going to go that way. I learned that with having 3 different natural births that they're all different. I had a water birth. I had my second child on the bed, and then my son, I had him on the birthing stool. Different things work at different times, and each time it seemed like it was perfect for its own occasion. So I wouldn't take it back. If I was to get pregnant again, I would definitely have a natural birth again, because to me it's a lot better. And then you get to go home the same day. You don't have to stay there. That's another thing. You don't have to stay. Matter of fact, at a birthing center you don't stay, because they have their appointments there with their other clients. And it's not like a hospital where you could stay there anyway.